Idaho Matters podcast is brought to you by St. Luke's On-Demand Virtual Care, which allows patients to see a provider from their home using a computer or smartphone with on-demand care for common ailments, such as a cough, sore throat, or a sinus issue. More information at stlukesonline.org. From Boundary to Bear Lake, Fremont to Payette, Oahe to Oneida, there are interesting people, places, and histories in all of Idaho's counties. And Idaho Matters wants to share it with you with stories from all 44 counties that make up the Gem State. Email your ideas to idahomatters@boisestate.edu or use the Talk to Us feature in our app, available on Apple and Android, and tune in each weekday at noon for Idaho Matters.
From the studios of Boise State Public Radio News, I'm Samantha Ryan filling in for Jim Gaudette. It's Idaho Matters. Well, all throughout the show today, you've been hearing some great jazz musicians, including Alfredo Rodriguez, who you're hearing his NPR Tiny Desk concert right now. He's just one of the artists that the Boise Jazz Society is bringing to Boise as part of their ongoing and upcoming concert season. The nonprofit organization grew out of this idea: having a space to listen, really listen to live jazz. We wanted to know more about the society, so joining us now are Executive Director Aaron Westfall and Jazz Society Production Manager Sandon Mayhew, who hosts the Jazz Mission Show on Boise State Public Radio Music. I want to thank the both of you for being here today on Idaho Matters. Hi.
Well, thanks for having us.
It's a pleasure.
Oh, okay. So, Aaron, tell us about the Boise Jazz Society. It really began, well, over 20 years ago, didn't it?
It began as some backyard concerts that were put on by a couple of community members here, and it was invite only with some amazing local musicians. And it just really started to grow, and people loved the idea. They loved the music. They loved the community. And so it grew. I know that before I came on, the Boise Jazz Society had used Jump as a space for some concerts, and really found a home at the Sapphire Room. And this coming up year, we are adding a third concert for when our artists come to visit, and it'll be at the Arid Club. So that'll be a new venue for us.
Okay, Sandon, you were playing at some of those concerts back in 2003. So what made those concerts different?
Well, we had to carry risers to build a stage. Was one of the big differences in those early days. We had to carry everything wherever we went to perform. So it was a lot of labor, a lot of sweat equity, so to speak. That's what I would call one of the most significant differences from the standpoint of putting on these concerts. And as a player, it was a thrill to be able to play for an audience who was there on purpose. Jazz being still not that present on the cultural landscape for folks who aren't already in the idiom, so to speak, as students or players or whatever else. So part of the mission of the Jazz Society is to bring world-class music to Boise and share it with the community.
And Aaron, that's what you're doing. You're going to bring Alfredo Rodriguez to Boise. We've been hearing him today. Tell us about him.
Well, Alfredo is originally from Cuba, so he's got a very special spice to his jazz. And in his Tiny Desk concert, he's playing with two artists who will be joining him here in December for Alfredo's concert, and it will be December 7th and 8th.
Wow.
But we have two concerts before that as well. It's actually a really exciting season.
It is. We've got a little bit of Linda May's music. You're going to have to tell me about Linda May because honestly, I think maybe people who don't know that she's a Grammy winner or all of the other amazing things that she's done, she was the model for the bass player in the Pixar movie Soul, and she's your first artist coming in. Tell us about her.
She is. So, Linda May Han O is one of the most renowned jazz bassists out there today. As you mentioned, she is a Grammy winner and was sort of the concept for A Character in Soul. But she also has won the Jazz Journalists Association Bassist of the Year for 6 out of the last 7 years, and was also the very first female bassist to top the bassist of the year for the Downbeat magazine's International Critics Poll, which is a really big deal. She's also a requested collaborator. She's worked with a lot of the biggest names in jazz, and is an educator.
And Aaron, why is it so important to bring these jazz greats to places like Boise?
Oh boy. Boise can be a little bit of an island when it comes to artists who are touring the country. And it's been our pleasure to try to bring some of these top names in here to a community that they might not have ever experienced otherwise, and show our community members, but especially our jazz students, just what these concerts are like, and give them a chance to be in that sort of listening room environment where people are really paying attention. In addition to our concerts, we also do an educational hour-and-a-half session with the artists coming in, so the students and our community members have a free opportunity to spend some time asking the artists some questions. Sometimes the students get a chance to get up and play a couple songs with them. And those are actually my favorite part of the whole thing, is seeing these students work with the artists and see the inspiration on their faces.
Sandin, you've got a show on Boise State Public Radio Music. We mentioned it. It's called The Jazz Mission. You play a lot of jazz. And you mentioned that, playing in these smaller, more intimate venues is important, especially to the artists, to know that the audience is there just for the music. But the audience has to really, really love this to be able to just sit and experience great jazz.
Yes, jazz is a listener's music. It's not background. In order to get the most, it's a better experience if you're actually actively listening rather than having it behind some other activity. And yes, I am very biased as a player. I played for many audiences who weren't there for the music, so to speak. And so I've come to recognize the difference. And Aaron mentioned the Sapphire Room. It's such a great listening room, which is why we found it a really good fit for our artists. It's intimate, and the connection between the artists and the audience is very immediate. There's no physical distance, so to speak, which also encourages the audience to invest as a listener, and they get so much more when they do.
Oh, we've just barely scratched the surface. But we're out of time. We've been speaking with Boise Jazz Society Executive Director Aaron Westfall and Society Production Manager Sandin Mayhew, who hosts the Jazz Mission Show on Boise State Public Radio Music. We're going to put some links to their upcoming live jazz concerts on our website, boisestatepublicradio.org.
I'm Gemma Gaudette, and this is Idaho Matters.